Well. Are we ready? Are we ready? I think we are. How are you doing? Welcome to spells and planning some spells. That's what we're going to be doing today. A small stream for Final Fallacy, the video game that is now in development. Coming to stores near you. I think to Steam and other places, indeed. And why I'm talking about this, well, this game is... not this. This game is quite something. It's going to be a very lovely little piece of a game that I think many people will enjoy, especially those who want to see something more from their RPGs. I want that. I want some more from my RPGs. I'm not very satisfied with what I get from my current RPG experiences. Let me test that. Test. Here we go. We got something on the screen. Wonderful. So basically what we're going to be doing is developing Final Fallacy and its spells. Going to be doing some planning, I think. That's going to be the main thing, I believe, because very much so. I'm actually very good news for this whole thing. I've been actually doing very well considering what has been happening. And let me just have this on the screen while we wait. And actually many big things have been happening. I haven't been on YouTube for a few days because of the fact that I got my... I don't know what's on my leg. I couldn't walk again. I had to just yesterday and a few days just kind of like rest and try to make it so that it doesn't hurt that much. And gladly I got some help on that. But yeah, that's just what's happening on me. What is happening in here, this channel is going to start doing some proper work, I think, next week, if all goes well. Now I'm going to be doing the streams, of course, for Final Fallacy, because that's the main game I'm currently into. And that's going to be the big thing. It's basically an RPG game where you go around places and do stuff, indeed. But what else? So basically, yes, I'm going to be doing some spell planning. What are spells? Well, usually in RPGs there are spells that you like you press a button in games and voila, it's a spell. But in Final Fallacy it's going to be a little bit tricky. I think a little bit more interesting, to be honest. There we go. Let me actually take that off a little bit. Here we go. I can hear even my own voice, which is not very good. I'm actually try to make the screen off a little bit. But yes, I tell you, it's going to be quite something else. Hello, eluukkanen. Maybe you should go to hospital to see if it's anything major. Better safe than sorry. I'm actually going to be tomorrow, hopefully.
You should go to the hospital to see
very
if
true,
it's
very
anything
true.
Major. Better safe than sorry.
I think I know what it is. Like in my family, there's this family thing that, you know, the leg can be, you know, basically go to shits if you eat, you know, certain things, and I think I might have it now, so that might be it, I think. Who knows, we shall find out. How are you doing, PPSA? And don't you worry about me, all is going well in most cases, and for some reason I can hear my voice in the background. That's not very good. Let's change that. Hello, PPSA. Indeed, so basically magical abilities are going to be something we're actually going to be looking at here. Hopefully, let me actually see. Do I have the list on here which we can see? Here we go. So let me actually open the screen for you so you can even see some things here. Alright, like this. And yeah, not to worry, all is going well. In most cases, like the thing is, I've had this before, and it just, I suppose, it is kind of like a family kind of disease, like a genetical sort of like thing. You know, all we have some kind of a things. You know, sometimes you get some good things from your genes, and sometimes you get some nasty things. And I think this might be the nasty thing I have. And if this is the only nasty thing, I'm very happy to say so. But it's still kind of a pain. So yesterday, just to use all my time just watching some Poco Rosso, basically that Studio Ghibli animated film, and Lord of the Flies film, while I was just on the ground and just like pain is now gone. I'm very happy on that. Now let's get on with the spells. As you can see here are this is the spell list, as you can see. Boulder, strengthen, solidify. I'm going to be actually making these much more organized now. So, in case you didn't know, this game has 5 elements of the magic spells. Earth magic is going to be the one of them. And earth is basically an element, of course, earth. What do you expect? It's basically earth, that it is. And it's one of those, like there are 5 elements: earth, fire, water, metal and wood. They are based on Wuxing principle, which is basically a Chinese way of thinking about elements. I think they still think something like that, I don't know. Of course, there are some way the Chinese, they of course they have much more scientific ways of thinking, but still this is the kind of like the ancient way of thinking about these things. Indeed. Let me still before I go share this whole thing in the place that I usually am sharing this from. Actually, no, let me share it later. So I'm not going to waste your time. How are you doing, PBSA, today? And thank you for your, of course, consideration. I'm very happy that you say that. Of course, I'm very honored for you to worry on me, but don't you worry. All is going well. Right now, all is going well, and I actually have some happy things going on. I was just contacted by a person I tried to get hold of, this sort of Finnish big music artist, and I think I might be getting them make basically kind of an opening scene music for the game, which is of course a huge thing. I'm doing fine. I know that's going to genetics. I got the very bad eyesight for some and
I got the very bad eyesight of someone and sinusitis.
What is sinusitis? Sounds nasty though. But I think sinus is like actually just see. But yeah, bad eyesight. Gladly we can actually fix those sort of things with glasses and such. But yeah, I get you. Mucous membrane and line sinuses symptoms include lack of nasal mucus. Facial pain may include fever, headache, poor sense of smell, sore throat and cough. Well, that is not very good. Well, gladly, I think we have some kind of a ways to fix that. Gladly, it's not too bad of a problem, hopefully for you. But that's the thing. Genetics it's kind of like a lucky game, and I am not with the bad luck. I tell you, I'm very positive on what I have. And I'm not going to be just like, but I could have some things better, I'm not going to do that. So basically, Earth Magic is very much, if we just put here, balance it of the ones. Basically, it's like, it has, it's more on the kind of like, when you, let me actually go on the place where we have the elements here. Let me try to find. Yeah, I mean, when you do game kind of things, it has to have a lot of like, planning on stuff, and one of the things is, let me actually try to find, I have these notes on here. So basically these are stability, reliability, predictability, stubborn, slow learning, direct and practical. So these are the words that very much, of course, earth as an element in Chinese Wuxing principle, they it describes it very much balanced of the magics in this game. And what does that mean? Well, in this game, all of the things like people's personalities, certain items, certain enemies, and all of the things are governed. Even the player is governed by the elements. And the earth is, in Wuxing principle, the Chinese thing on that is basically that it's when there's like the main 4, which is of course water, fire, wood, and metal. Earth is always in between of all of those. So it's always the kind of the balancing one. Like when you Chinese think that I don't know what do they think now, but originally.
Normally I get headaches, and very rarely they are heavy ones, and also rarely it gives very small shortness of breath.
Man, that's not nice. Is there a way to fix that somehow? Kind of like I don't know what could do it, but it's not very good. It's not very good. Not very good, all of these goddamn genetical things, yeah. But gladly, I'm not. I actually have a very easy way to fix it, without a medication, because I basically have to just like. I gladly I have this friend as a doctor. he told me that she told me that I just need to move it, even though it pains in the beginning. You have to just move the leg all the time, so the blood starts to stream more and the pain goes away, and it actually has. So like I tell you, I'm very lucky in that sort of aspect. I can actually get the whole thing away, especially if I just do more exercising in the good ways. I sometimes do too much of the sitting work, especially the computers and such, and that's why I need to balance it very hardly with going out and doing stuff. Now, so basically, without me just wasting too much time, the balance is actually, you know, the key word. It's just like, what does this mean? Basically, keyword, it means for a way that, you know, how this magic works, all of the effects it does. It doesn't really, this is not going to be shown to the player, but it's just for me. These are the, how to describe it. So basically, this magic has to be somewhat of a middle ground. It has not, it has to be practical. It is, it can do some of the things to basically be helpful in many areas, but at the same time it's not the master of every single one. At least that is the idea. And also it very much on it's going to be focusing on bettering some of the, you know, things I've actually added here. Like they actually, like, basically you can have someone a boulder, and with that boulder you can like basically push it forward and do all sorts of stuff, you know, even shoot it forward. And strength, you know, it basically increases your strength. You can make someone slow and all these sort of effects that, you know, there's a lot of different ones, and they are basically very much balanced in many ways.
Yes, using Vaspo spray fixes the problem. Also normally appears when the seasons are changing. It's applied on the nose and doesn't need medical recipe.
Oh, that's very good. That's very good. Very good. Nasty that you can really get away from that, but at least it's a curve, you know, temporary one. About temporary curves, I'm actually go to the spells that I've actually made. So the spell system basically works like this. I have these spells in here, you know, like repair, and as you can see, these are the icons are like this. Basically, when you have each spell, they have these. I'm actually trying to find it. Well, actually, I lost it. But basically, when you go to the icon of the spell, it is divided into this sort of grid, which basically, you know, describes how, you know, it's kind of like this sort of like markings on, you know, how the spell icon looks and such. Actually, you can see it. Yes, you can see it. Very good. So basically, this is how the spell is built. I do it like this. First, I of course invent a name for it, which is of course. It has to be multi-purpose in many ways, because, you know, that's the earth, how it works. Although, like, the fire much more focuses on the, you know, the aggressive side of things, and of course burning, as it does. Earth is very much on, you know, kind of a middle of everything. So it has to make weaknesses. It has to make strength for certain things. It has to be useful in many ways.
Also, my family have a diabetes history, so there is a great chance I develop it. If it's always nice.
Yeah, always nice to get all of these goddamn things. Very, very nice. Yeah, hopefully not though. But we shall see. I think diabetes, if you like eat well, work out and such, you can actually avoid it, if I remember. But now, so we have basically the repair skill. The repair skill is, if I have it here. Very good. So, you know, anything broken, it may repair, and, you know, even items and such. It will not be the thing that you should have to rely on all the time, because basically, you know, the spirit that basically the MP that it takes down, you know, to use spells is quite actually heavy one, and you don't get those often replenished. So thing is that if you want to use, of course, repair magic, you are able to, and you can even use it in the later of the game if you want to. That's the thing. I think the audio I'm actually see. For some reason I'm not getting the background music. I think you're not actually hearing the background music. Let me actually fix it a little bit. Here we go. So now we have some background music in here. Hopefully, yes. So basically, this is a repair spell. It repairs the whole thing. And I'm actually have the icon there at the same time. Here we go. And the icon is made with this grid in mind, as you can see. Let me show you. So basically, when you in this game, there's this mechanic that you can actually discover spells, and you can craft spells. Basically, that's the whole thing. So you are able to, with this grid, if you do like in the spell thing making, you color these each grids in a right ways, you are able to get a certain spell. That's the thing. And each spell has this sort of like what sort of grids they show and have. That's basically it. So we're going to be actually building that. If you have any suggestions on what should we have as spells, so let me know. But let me now add this repair thing here in the documentation. Here we go. Repair. That's the icon. We put it like this. Here we go. And actually like this. This is the better because it has the full description. Repairs target if a machine or structure or machine item or structure. It's actually very powerful tier 1 spell. Basically, in every school of magic there's like a tier 1, tier 2, tier 3, tier 4 and tier 5. Hopefully we actually be able to make a tier 1 ready and tier 2 for the earth. If you have any suggestions for the spells, they preferably multi-purpose ones would be very nice. And the ED is of course the ID of the 701 ID. Here we go. I need the ID in order to know in which part of the game it is. This actually helps quite a lot when you add this all of it. Oh, actually it is, yeah, it is 701. Next is stature. All of these things you can actually even cast outside of the battles as well. Of course, battles, there's a different sort of a reaction depending on, of course, a skill. If you summon boulder in the battle, basically, that does something, but it doesn't do all of the things it does in the world at the same time. Basically, moving the boulder and doing sort of like puzzles and such. That's how it works. Stature. Let me have it like here. Stature. All of these icons, basically, as you can see, are like this sort of like kind of like characters. Kind of a Chinese character sort of fashion. If you know all the Chinese characters, they have this sort of like patterns, as you can see. So each of the spells in the game have their own patterns as well. 701, 2, here we go. Makes a little bit of fun able to be loose position.
Creates a black hole. It will /destroy anything. But you get 0 resources and 0 experiences for using it to defeat an enemy.
That is kind of, I like the later idea, I like it. I think that could be used like a metal sort of fashion. But possibly a black hole isn't really... it could be for not to earth, and not to water, and not to fire, and not to wood, and not to metal. I think those are not the elements it should work. I think this spell that you're actually talking about, it should be a very powerful one. I'll actually go to here and put it like in here in the notes. What could be that it has to have one word to basically summarize the whole thing. Perhaps black, I suppose, could be it. No, there's in the spell system in this game, there's always each spell is one word. And what could describe a black hole? But let me actually see. So, creates a vacuum that sucks. I don't even know how to write English here. Vacuum, is it right? I think it is. And that sucks. Yeah, not actually. It is vacuum that sucks opponents. Everything in it. Basically, the spell for that. There's the earth, fire, and earth, fire, wood, metal, and water, all of those. And then there's the special kind of magics that are like the sort of black and white, sort of yin and yang sort of fashion. They are very hard to find. I suppose this black spell could be used in that. Let me actually see. So, and you gain nothing when enemy is defeated. defeat it, of course, when it goes to the black hole, so I suppose. Maybe just like add a note here. Black hole. Here we go. I like the idea, but it cannot be on the Earth magic, though, because it's, you know, black holes and Earth kind of doesn't fit together, I think, at least. Summon Boulder is an actually interesting movie, as it basically is. You can use it too. Actually, see Boulder. There we go. Boulder, you can use it on many things. You know, it's a multi-purpose thing. You can summon a boulder to protect you. You can summon a boulder to basically shoot it forward and that sort of thing. I don't like games when they just have like fire 1 or fire 2 or this sort of things. You can only use them in very certain ways. I don't like it.
Emptiness or void creates a black hole that will destroy everything.
I like that. Void is kind of like.
Using this spell, but a perfect victory.
I suppose. The idea about the dark spells in this game, that they actually also take something away from you. What I mean by that is they are dangerous, very dangerous sort of spells, and when you use them, you lose part of yourself at the same time.
Or could be called nothing or nothingness.
I think nothing could be actually a very good one. Nothing. And I actually have the, you know, well, thank you for the description. I feel like create a black hole that destroy everything in its path, and you will get nothing. A perfect victory. I like it. The thing is also, when you use this spell, it is in all the dark spells, basically black spells in the game. Black magic is something that they will hurt you in the long run, make you lose your HP a little bit all the time. So that's the thing when you use these sort of spells. Actually, you know, black nothing. I'll be like this. Let's do this icon for it later on. But now, let's do this. So basically, you have boulder. Someone's a boulder that you can move. We don't have a description for that. Let me have it. So someone's a multi-purpose boulder that you can move, hit enemies with, or even hide behind. That's the thing. You can use these. I want to make spells that are multi-purpose, and I suppose that black hole could be used in multi-purpose ways, because these basically the spells are that you can use them in battles, but also outside of the battles. Basically, if you summon a boulder outside of the battle, it's basically boulder in front of you sort of fashion, and you can use it in puzzles and that sort of fashion. So that's the thing. Summons a boulder, multi-purpose boulder that you can hit enemies and behind. I think that is a good way to make it. I think it was 705, if I remember. Yes, here we go. Let's check it out. No, at 707. I was wrong. 707. Here we go. The next one is going to be here. These are the spells I've actually planned. I haven't yet done them too much. Basically, strengthen. It is a very, of course, increased ally strength for 100%. You know, some of the, the skills in some games, like you increase for like 20%. I would actually go very full in on percentages, because if you do a spell, it basically wastes one of your turns you have used for attacking and such. It has to have an immediate effect. Otherwise, I think there's no use for using specific things. And this is one of the things that this is very much used for. Here we go. Yeah, the documentation. Good to have a documentation here to show it like this. Actually, let me still go in here. It's actually very weird that the society is still kind of closed on in some places. In Finland, the society has kind of already been open for quite a long time, and it's actually weird to see people, in America and other places say it's still locked up in there. So, see, angry strength for 105 turns. This is actually a very good spell, and it's kind of level 1 spell. You can use it even in the beginning and the later of the game. These are the spells I personally want to do. Some things that you can actually use even later on in the game. Like, this spell is useful even if you are like level 90 or something. Like, it's still very useful spell if you want to increase your strength temporarily, indeed. And the next one is basically, if I remember, Solidify. Increases allies' resistance 100% temporarily. Kind of same thing, but for defense, basically. And these are the kind of the improving skills that Earth Magic has. solidify and strengthen.
PBSA.
Lux illustrans.
Latin for illuminating light, a light that illuminates your path and mind. Most enemies will run away from you.
I think I actually have that sort of skill somewhere. Let me actually see. Find light. Glow and light. Glow gives a small glow around you, improves your magic defense against darkness. Light lightens the whole room, blinds opponents, turns demons to stone. That is one of the the things. I think it unfortunately has to have like one word in order to use that sort of thing. But that's one of the white magics indeed. Again, another multi-purpose one. Illuminate your path. Perhaps that could be something else later on. I will work on the light and dark spells later on. I have to focus on the spells that are basically earth spells right now. But of course, let us work on the others later on. Indeed. If any suggestions on earth, let me know. Earth spells. Basically, multi-purpose ones. If you say about that illuminating and such, I'm actually going to be later on making this sort of spell that actually shows secret places. And I don't know, am I going to be doing it for light or something else? For the element, I don't know yet. But basically that's what it does. And we go to here. And I've solidify, here we go. And basically it does the same thing, but with difference. And I think, these are actually very good spells. And if a certain player, of course, AI is basically NPCs are going to be using these spells as well. But if somebody, is clever enough to use this in a right way, I'm going to be actually interested to see how that will happen. But basically, we have repair, stature, strengthen, and solidify, and all of these are worked on the kind of when you have this sort of like.
PBSA.
Never the spell could be Lux.
For this spell will be Lux, light in Latin. This spell will reduce the encounter rate of enemies. It will also help you to learn any new skill faster and will help you find your way to a weapon.
I kind of like the idea that it actually decreases the encounter rate. The problem of that is that in the game there's not going to be random encounters, only in the world map, I think. In normal locations, all of the enemies are visual, so you can actually see the enemies and such and such and such. Perhaps that could be like making them fear you, so they don't strictly attack you or something. I don't know. Could be something like that. Who knows? I will copy this on a kind of a copy-paste sort of fashion here. But again, I'm not going to be, at least yet, I'm not going to be, here we go. I'm not going to be doing the light spells just yet, because I need to do the earth spells before that. And earth is a very important element. Preserve is actually very interesting as well, because it turns you defense, but health and gain stamina. You basically don't gain at all stamina when you have this sort of thing. Kind of like a two-sided sword.
Sometimes. Let's say there is a 75% change to run away.
We actually add that in as well. There we go. Very good suggestion, thank you very much. But yeah, preserve is going to be the next spell. And I tell you, I'm going to be doing the light spells at some point, but of course, making these spells, I want multi-purpose spells. I want spells that are useful even later on in the game if you're like clever enough. And that sort of spell that you have, I suppose it has to be a light spell, perhaps tier 2, I suppose. It could be something like that. Kind of the light spell in here is kind of a little sort of flash thing, and the glow is this sort of like a very small sort of light. Perhaps I have to still think of the names and such. I have to still think of them. It's still, of course, in work, so, it can change. It can be made something else, who knows. Depends on what we want, indeed. Depends on what we want to do. 75%, basically, I think it's going to be perhaps affecting only a certain type of creatures. Like, possibly, like, I have to think what they could be. But perhaps, who knows. I would like to make it 100% for certain creatures, but not all creatures. I have to still think about that, of course, mechanically later on. Solidify turns the defense 500%, but you heal and gain stamina less for 5.
smashes rocks that are in your way and is very strong against earth enemies. Even if it is an earth element spell, it can also reduce the defense of enemies.
I actually like that. Yeah, well, let's actually add that in. Smash, I think could be it. You know, good to have kind of like this sort of attacking abilities, indeed, in a sense. Smash. I think that actually could be tier 2, because you know having sort of like, let me actually see. Do I have here? So calcify turns opponents wise slow. I think I'm actually going to be doing like certain things here to change the position of these. We'll see robustness, heavy, rest temporary to make out the stall. Actually, I'm going to be making this tier 3 actually. Here we go. Tier 3. And the one that you said is actually big, so there's a wall. Let me actually delete the wall in here. So let me actually have the calcify would be level 2 because it's actually very powerful. We could have like a level tier 1 spell of smash. Indeed, let's actually smash and smash. You know, as it says, smashes rocks that are in your way. Possibly going to be changing the descriptions a little bit later on, but you know, let's add these in here. Very strong against earth enemies. Strong against rock earth enemies. Can also reduce resistance of the foe. And resistance is basically in this game a defense. That's, you know, the strength and resistance are the stats. You know, strength is basically attack, and resistance determines the defense and other things as well, like how well are you able to, you know, reduce effects of, you know, status elements and such. They are in the same stat, indeed. So that's what we have here, and very lovely. Thank you. I'm actually add a note. PBSA. Thanks. Here we go. Thank you very much. Have to, of course, remember to name you on that. Now, let me see. So, Smash, we have Smashes Rocks on your way. Preserve. We have to make an icon for it. So, Smash is like this sort of like... let me actually make it like this. So, we have the color of the icon here. Like this. Let's make it like this. Here we go. So, it's kind of like... It's going to be like... Sort of like there's this sort of impact on the stone sort of fashion, like a kind of cross, but it's going to be like kind of like this fist and basically impact sort of fashion. It always things break around it sort of fashion. So we just copy that in like this. Here we go, like this. And let me put that inside of the 16-bit environment like this. Actually back like this, here we go. And let's make it so that this is going to be the icon that we have here. Here we go. Here we go, we have an icon ready. This is going to be a Smash icon. And you know, it has to kind of, well, let me actually see. 1, 2, 3. This is the icon that we have on here on the Smash. I try to make, you know, it has to be very simplified, 16x16, but I think, you know, it actually is somewhat looks like what we want. It has to be very simple because, you know, the simpler the spells, the less the sort of like the dots we're going to be having here, because then it's easier to craft. But at the same time, it cannot be, it has to like be something that we can actually understand that it is there, yeah. So let me actually go and add it in the screen. Here we go, here we go. It's, you know, I haven't actually shared information on this stream for anyone here, so it's actually a very wondrous thing that, you know, you're watching here at this time, who knows. But, you know, I want to be actually starting the streams forward and get some stuff done, as we are doing today with the spell and the planning stages. Because, you know, there's going to be a lot of spells, that's for sure. And the spells have to be... Like, I'm fed on games that, you know, they give you, like, these spell things that, you know, actually are not very useful all of the time. That's the thing. And of course, we're going to be having a lot of like, people say, it's going to be useless and such. But if you're clever enough, I want this to be used by many different people. Actually, have like this. Here we go. Here we go. Let's put this on the screen. Here we go. We got icon for Smash. Yeah, I know the Smash games. I've actually never played Smash games. That's the thing. Here we go. We got the icon ready like that. So Smash is there. Historical moment, indeed. And let me save it here. Here we go. Let me save. And essentially, let's get going on with all the spells. Actually, got to good work so far. Of course, it's going to be needing a lot of, other background work when it comes to the fact that we're actually going to be putting these effective in the game. But, the planning stages, this is going to be perfect in those even. So we have now Boulder, Solidify. Do we actually, which part of it? It's actually, there's going to be still taking some time until we get on the right one. So Preserve is going to be next, if I remember right. Yes, Preserve. Actually, no, yes. It is going to be. I actually see the Solidify. So Preserve is going to be this. Here we go. Preserve. Here we go. Turns 500% you gain stamina for. I'm actually going to be also making so that you are twice as slow. You are actually 30% slower. There we go like this. Target. Capson, hello there, how are you doing? Welcome to the stream, we are planning some spells. How are you doing? Welcome to the stream.
Improves your attack power by sharpening your weapon.
Grind. I think Grind could be the name of that. That actually is very clever because we have a repairing system in this game. And improving that and such. I actually like that. Let's actually add as a spell. How are you doing, Cubson? I haven't actually seen you on Final Fallacy streams before. Are you here first time? And we are planning some spells. We're actually doing spells here. Yes. Spells for a game I'm creating. A very special little game that is going to be something else, I tell you. So we have, suggestion by BBSA, a Smash ability. Actually, let me add the icon if we have that already here. No, we don't. I'm actually change that fact. Of course we want. Yes, now we have it. Smash! Smashes rock that are you in your way. Strong against foes. Echoing. Okay, that's a bit bad. Is it bad echoing? Hopefully not. Can't really fix it too much on this position. Let me possibly. Actually, let me see. I can change it a little bit. Now it's actually should be working. Yeah, now it should be working. Yes, indeed. So let's actually get back to work. So the thing is, though, so the Smash and such, I think I'm going to be making the Grind level 2 one. Because it's going to be quite a powerful little thing to grind your items. But I think it might actually fit, as you mentioned, metal, because metal is metal work, indeed. Echoing test. It's for the narrator voice. That actually I cannot really much do anything about. I can't really do anything about that, unfortunately. I'm not going to fix it today, but hopefully it's not too big of an echo. You're very strong. Actually, it does do that. Now, let's continue forward. Boulder is Smash is going to be the second one. We're actually going to be adding that in here. Here we go. Smash. Still doing the echo. It is, unfortunately. That's the thing. Sorry about that. Can't really fix it yet. It's kind of like basically my. I don't have the headphones to really listen to audio at this moment, at least. And at the same time, my stereo is like there, so that's a kind of a problematic situation. Hopefully not too bad of a situation. We just actually get the thing a little bit less. Here we go. So now we have a Preserve. No, actually Smash is going to be the next one. Smash indeed. It's a long work to actually get this stuff done, as you can notice, but it actually is a very important work we have to do, because usually games, they have to have this sort of like documentation, because when you have a big game, you cannot just like make stuff as you go. I've actually had bad experiences with that. So yeah, that's the thing. Bad experiences have taught me to avoid it. So actually, let me see. The amount of resistance actually is going to be starts of the foe with. I think it could be like 20% because 25% because basically it's an attack at the same time. You lose a little bit HP. So smash indeed. Here we go, and that is 706 is the ID. Now the next one, we actually have a good position here. Haven't yet added the spirit information, how much this could cost. I'm going to be adding that later, that information. We might even do another stream for that. But now we have boulder, 706, very good. We have that in here. We are doing process. Now the next one is continental, and I don't actually know the word of the. If you have any suggestions on the words, let me know. But continental, basically, idea is that everyone moves in the battlefield. In Final Fallacy, you basically have these sort of moving systems and such. You can actually move in the battlefield back or forward, and this basically moves everybody go forward when it hits. And I don't really like this name of this. But let's actually keep it like this, at least right now. If you have any suggestions for the name that could be better, let me know. Let me know. But I tell you, actually haven't told you too much. Yes, so basically in this Final Fallacy game actually was very successful to get one big Finnish artist to work on the music of the intro music for the game. And I think it's actually going to be a huge thing if it works. Because I tell you, man, if it works, it's going to be like the biggest thing since sliced bread, because of course it's a big Finnish. I cannot say what that is yet because it's still under negotiation. But I think when they said yes, at least I'm very happy so that they have said that. But of course, negotiation about how it will work and such. It will still take time, of course. Moves all battles in the battlefield slightly forward. Continental, boulder, smash. Here we go. We have all the things in here. All the lovely things. And the pebble. A very big spell that will strike enemies at tons of rocks between one. I actually like that sort of you could. Perhaps I could actually change the position of the continental then to other position. Yes, because I cannot make all of the rock abilities to be just. The rock slingshot could be something like that. Pebble. Kind of like you could throw a small rock. It doesn't really do much on the battlefield, other than you can use it in tactically basically. It could basically perhaps blind someone. I don't want to do kind of like a machine gun like pebbles because I think that's because there's got to be fire abilities that basically do multiple times damage on that sort of same idea. So I don't want to have that sort of too similar on that. I like the idea of the pebble that you actually throw that. We shall let's see how it works, because boulder is basically like this big rock, and pebble could be a small one. In that sense, I think the boulder position actually could be changed. Let me actually see. I'll allow heal while you take damage. Identify. I'll actually put it in here. Tier 3. And let's make so that the boulder is in there. Boulder, like this. And pebble could be here. Pebble throws a small rock towards forward. It may blind opponents if you hit it right. I think also you could use it for in normal map movement. You could actually for switches and this sort of stuff. I think it could be, yeah. I think actually it's better to have boulder in later on. Momentum is actually much better. I like that. I will actually put that there. Momentum is much better. Momentum. Thanks PBSA. Here we go. Also the Pebble, I need to also say that. Pebble, thanks PBSA. I just remember that, you know, it could be many months until we see that effect in the demo and such, so have to put that there so I can remember. Now the thing is, we have momentum, which is very thank you for the name, by the way. I'll actually put that here as well. Momentum. I'll develop it slightly forward. It's a very tactical thing, because basically in some battlefields, you know, some enemies want to stay far, and it's very good that you can actually move them forward in that sort of fashion. Let's actually make an icon for the Pebble. It's going to be, of course, a very small one. Actually, for just the jokes of it, actually we could make it so that the Pebble icon is like just like one dot. I think that would be fun. Like this, one dot in here. That's Pebble for you. That could be cool. That would be wonderful. There we go. And let's make it so that the outline is there. And let's see, could we add that as an icon? I think we could. Let's go to the game like this. Pebble. It's a very small rock, of course. You know, that spellcrafting. A Pebble actually isn't that, like, it seems very insignificant skill, but like I want to make it has to actually have some strategical uses at the same time. Indeed, indeed. Spells are still far off, but as you can see, bow, kind of a Pebble, rock, and then I'm going to be doing a like a. Actually, let me actually see. A rock. I don't know. I have to still think of this. But I think, you know, Pebble and Boulder actually are very good ones. So a small rock forward. I did a little bit change there, but still, I think, you know, I don't want to do too much of a machine gun rock ability, at least yet. In later stages, possibly. So momentum, crumble, and lift. Those are going to be the ones that we have in level 1. Actually, let's see. So, repair, stature, strengthen, solidify, preserve, smash, Pebble. Let me actually change this one. So the 7 is basically Pebble. Let's have this on later on. Maybe like this. Let's see which one is the Boulder 16. Alright, let's add that there. 16. And the 7 is Pebble. Pebble. I like the word. Like pebble. Pebble. It's very interesting, you know, Finland, it's like, you know, kiwi. That's how you say it in Finnish. Hopefully I'm not taking too much of your, like, sleeping schedule away, PBSA, but thank you for still being here. Now the next thing is, of course, the icon for the Pebble. Do I have it in here? I think I should be. Let me actually see. So icons. Here we go, Pebble is in. Let's save that. Let's save that like that. Here we go. And go in here and like press a button. Yeah, and let's go back and voila, I think it should be there loaded. Here we go. Pebble. Smash. Pebble. Momentum. Crumble is going to be the next one, which I actually did today. The graphics for that, you know, very simple one would still. Increases opponent's pressure, and basically pressure, you know, I don't know the right word for it yet, but that's a development term. Basically pressure is this sort of thing that adds when the battle goes forward. Once you have enough pressure, basically you're going to break. As a, you know, individually it doesn't do much, but when you have like enough of it, it basically gives you, breaks you, and you lose a lot of stats. Temporarily at least, but it's going to be a very heavy effect. So some enemies that might not actually be that strong, but that can be doing a lot of pressure attacks, then can actually be very good in that sort of thing, indeed. So crumble, indeed, increases opponent's pressure without damaging the opponent. So crumble, here we go, this is the icon. Here we go. And increase opponent pressure without damaging. Can lead to breaking. That's how it can do. Like every single attack actually has this sort of thing. And if you have like multiple different small enemies that actually attack you constantly, you're going to break at some point, like boom, 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 boom sort of fashion. Like if you like know those fighting movies, like if you just hit someone too many times, they're like, but still like have this sort of breaking moment with that. So crumble actually is very useful in that. So it doesn't make damage, but if you want to break an opponent very fast, crumble is something you can use. Because basically, when someone hits after you is broken, it does a lot of damage. And that is that. I think, do we have now? Actually, there's going to be still one last for tier 1. Tier 1, of course, is the easiest one to get. Tier 5 is hardest. Even these are not too easy to find, but still. So Earth Magic number 2, we can still have. I think we still have the one which is called Lift. Makes one who casts have temporary power to move objects without gaining strength. I don't really still know about this one too much, because the idea is that, basically this spell should be doing that. That you can actually like move heavy objects. Like you can actually, if you have enough strength, you can like rise boulders and such. And this makes that you can temporarily do that sort of fashion. It's kind of like a very occasional skill. I don't know, should I possibly actually take it off and make it something else? I think yes. I was actually thinking of making it robustness more.
It puts rocks on the battlefield. They will block the way and attacks. Can be used to run away or destroy the enemy tactics. Enemies can also use it to avoid attacks. PBSA.
I like that.
Someone is behind, they will receive double damage of what smash would deal by itself.
I was thinking of like so basically you mean that this sort of like a kind of like object in the battlefield that kind of like annoy your movement sort of fashion. We have the boulder, which basically is you can use it like a kind of like as a kind of like in front of enemies' path, so they can move. That's the thing. But you mean that basically. So basically you mean that it's kind of like a sort of like a thing in the way. I think I'm actually not going to be, because the boulder basically does the same thing in a sense. Boulder, I think at least. Let me know if I'm wrong. I'm going to be actually deleting this one and actually adding robustness in there. Because I didn't just like the fact it kind of leave it's too kind of situational. It has to have like something else in there. Robustness. Someone gets temporarily plus 20 strength, but only for a small amount of time. And this makes you actually able to carry boulders at the same time. So actually, this is better to have it here. Robustness. Here we go. I like the idea of, can you tell me something more about that? Because basically, when I think about it, it's kind of like the boulder actually does the thing I think you are describing. I might be wrong. Let me know. I might be wrong. Let me just copy this one here, like this.
PBSA. It will spawn multiple rocks that can't be moved in the battlefield. They can be spawned randomly or not.
Let me think, is that even possible to do? Let me see. It's a bit difficult. It is actually very difficult to do that sort of thing. Because the problem here, in the battle system has some limitations. One of the limitations is that you can spawn objects there, but they have to always be like situated in front of the certain already objects that are in there, like the battlers themselves, the actors and the enemies and this sort of situation. I cannot make so that, unfortunately. Let me actually think, could I do that? It's going to be too much of work if I make so that middle of battlefield there's like this. I have to still think of this. I would like to do this, but it's kind of like it's very hard one to do. I think, at least. I might be wrong. I will put that as a note, but I have to say that I might not be able to do it. have to still see it, how it would work in, like, I like the idea of it, but you know, in practice I'm not sure. I'm not completely sure of it. Here we go, robustness, someone gets temporary 20% strength, I don't even write this right, strength, let's copy that in here, so I can actually make it right, here we go. Here we go. So I like the idea, but let me actually see, like, how could I do it? Let me see. So basically you can, like, spawn objects in front of the... It could be done, but I want to actually make that very high level skill. And possibly a rock would be a very different sort of, like...
Well, they could be spawned randomly and in big numbers, like 8 or 12 rocks per spell cast, and they will always appear in front of you.
I could do something like that. I think I'm going to be making that like a level, very high level spell, because imagine, you know, someone like just making one spell, and there's everybody, like, everywhere, like, rocks on the way. I actually like that sort of idea, so basically you have this sort of maze sort of fashion there, but I have to still think, like, how that could be done. If you get a name for it that is kind of like a much more epic sounding than rock, then let's do it. Then let's make it so. But yeah, I like the idea of it. Yeah, could be done. Could be done. Temporary robustness, and I think that's the end of level tier 1 spells. Let me look at those. Repair, stature, strengthen, solidify, preserve, smash, pebble, momentum, crumble, and robustness. And I think that's it for tier 1. Let's actually go to tier 2 now. As you can see, there's always 10 spells for each tier. I think the final tier actually going to be having only 5 spells, because it's very hard to find those. The thing is, though, you can only have a certain amount of spells with you, like equipped. Basically, like Dark Souls fashion, you can equip spells. You know, of course, certain characters can equip much more of them. But that's the thing, you have to choose which you want to have. Hey, Big Bear, how are you doing?
Increases your defense. Big
Bear. We have, unfortunately, that here, which is... we have actually 2 ones. One of them is solidify and preserve. It's been a long time. How are you doing, Big Bear? We are doing a game. Want to join us planning some spells for a video game? Yes, we are doing a video game today. Yes, indeed. I'm now a game developer. Oh, yeah. How are you doing? It's been a long time coming. Well, good to see you. Good to see you, man. Next one is Underground that we're going to be doing. Yes, we're going to be doing some spells for a game I'm making. Yes, a very lovely game, because of the fact that, well, I tell you, we can do everything here, what we want. But of course, we cannot do all the things, but, you know, there are some limitations. But currently, we are planning some spells. PBSA have made a very good suggestions here on the spell side of things. Polishing is something I might not be taking, though.
I had to get a new phone. My other one broke.
God damn, those phones get broken so easily, don't they? God damn phones. It's always getting broken. You know, my brother, basically, he purchased a new phone, and it instantly got like shatters on the screen, and I'm like, oh, please. My phone is like from 2015 or something. Like, it's like I don't know even. Bro, it's like a dinosaur compared to the new ones.
Rock could be called avalanche, stone trap or stone maze.
I think I'm basically, if you're wondering what I'm doing there, basically I have like a pear. What is it, like a fruit pear?
I'm moving to England.
England! Oh bother! You're going there? How so? I'm having a job there or something. Let me know. Congratulations on the moving. It's a very hard time, of course, to move there, you know, with all these things on you. You might think so. I can understand why you would think so. Basically, this is a different kind of scan code. We are making spells for a game. Indeed. And each spell has a code, which you need to know in order to make it. Oh boy, it is. And for some reason, it's still alive. And it's like, I'm dying. But hey, lovely to have you, Jelly Dunk, a Big Bear and all. Yeah, it's a very different sort of.
My dad had just recently.
God damn. Hopefully, you know, all the best for your dad. It's not, if you're talking about the current sickness and such, I tell you, hopefully it's not too bad situation. Because it's kind of nasty. what is going on here. That's kind of nasty. And basically, you know, but hopefully all goes well on that. Big Bear, indeed. Would not be nice, because the thing is, I think actually, the Surge actually talked about his mother to be like very sick and such. Very many people have been getting recently sick, and I think there's many reasons for that. But let's not talk about those too much today. One thing I want to just wish that all goes well with your dad. Now, let me save the progress on here. We have Underground, which is a next level skill. Are you here, Big Bear and Jellyduck, of course, with PBSA, to find out what sort of spells we're going to be doing for the game, indeed. And make your own ones if you have any good ones. This is basically the best moment to actually suggest ones, because later on I cannot really change these. I'm not going to be changing these later on. So this is your chance. What is spell planning? Well, basically, idea is that in this game I'm making, you know, there's a game, indeed, Final Fallacy, and like RPG game. You know those RPG games, like where you go and there are battles and there's like mages, knights and such. Basically, in this game, we have like spell people here, and you have different sort of spells. We are now currently planning spells for Earth abilities. I personally, you know, in this modern world, people like say, oh, magic. I don't really believe in the magics in the sense that some people believe in magics and such. But in video games, I like the mechanic. Oh, I know now. Kind of like that, indeed. But in this, there's 5. Indeed. There's 5. Earth, water, fire, wood, and metal. And they are based on Wuxing principle. Basically, you can even Google this if you want to. Wuxing. Wuxing is this sort of like, 5 different elements. That's what the Chinese believe. Indeed, usually it's 4, but that's like the goddamn Western people. They don't understand the Chinese wonderful things on that. At least that one, I can understand why they did the 4 ones, but because metal as an element is like that's the same as Earth. But anyways, that's how Chinese believe things. Now let's actually see how we believe things, and we're actually going to be adding a next one here, which is of course Underground as a skill. And the avalanche that was suggested by who was the PBS. I'm going to be actually adding that. It is pronounced as wooshing, woo. And that's how it's said. I really believe that too. Wooshing. But yes, very true. It is more said on that.
This spell can destroy rocks in the battlefield, but won't do a lot of damage to the enemies. You can drill rocks to get resources like iron.
I think drill as a kind of ability, it could work, but it has to be very different from what you said, because possibly it could be this sort of continuous damage. You basically do drill, and like multiple turns you basically damage like doom sort of fashion. You're echoing! I know, man. I can't really fix it, unfortunately, at this point. It's very nasty, though. I know. Sorry about that. Hopefully it's not too bad of an echo. Hopefully not. You are echoing. I know, man. Unfortunately, can't do too much any of it for now, because basically... my excuses, but I'm not going to be doing that today. Tomorrow I'm going to be fixing that. Thank you for letting me know. Thank you for PBSA and all that letting me know. So here we go. Underground. Did I write it wrong? Yeah, underground. Underground. Well, underground. My English is so perfect. It's not bad. Gladly happy to hear, Big Bear. I have been in UK one time. I have to tell you, I was very happy on visiting that place, but at the same time, I personally, and of course it's a personal preference, I wouldn't want to live in that place too much. I'm too keen on Finnish countryside and Finland and that sort of fashion. And I actually wanted to go to study in Scotland at some point, but then I thought, hey, there's these sort of things that, you know, I didn't like there too much. The infrastructure is not in a good shape in there, at least in Scotland. I think that could be actually a lovely thing to do, sort of drill ability. Like, constantly, like, takes damage out of you, and it could have like a random multiplier of how many times the drill hits you. It's very different from like a poison or this sort of other sort of ideas. Yeah, good ideas from PBSA for the spells. Hey, Surge! I actually was talking about you. Big Bear says that he had his father having some kind of sickness thing, and then I instantly thought, hey, Surge mentioned his mother. How are you doing? Having a sickness. How are you doing, Surge? We have all of the company in here. We're doing spells in here, underground. Basically, underground, like there's usually in the places, makes you able to go underground on the maps. Indeed. I'm very excited to hear that, of course. All the best for all of the sicknesses and such. We are only human beings. We can affect only a few things in here, but I hope that you know, all goes well. That's basically it. Indeed. So we are doing spells, and I tell you, we have already done quite many ones. As you can see, here's a list. Here's a list of the spells, and they are on the Earth element. Oh boy, Earth element. Basically, we do multiple sort of things: smashing, preserving, solidifying, and strengthening your possession. And we have some good suggestions. I'm gonna be actually doing the one. What were you saying? Drill. We could actually have a drill for tier 3. I think so. Actually, yeah, we could be on this drill. There we go. Thanks, PBSA. PBSA. So basically, if you have any suggestions on spells that we could do, let me know. We can do those.
Sorry, Big Bear. Things are fine. YouTube gave me the notification an hour late. Good job, YouTube.
God damn YouTube. It's I can see why they don't really like me for some reason. I don't really mind. I'm happy that I'm actually able to get Surge on here. I was actually having a very good news on the Final Fallacy project just today, and I cannot tell you too much of it, but good news in a way that I got this big Finnish artist to be part of the project, basically this sort of musical group, and if I would get that, I tell you, my game would be an instant success. Just because of that, because I tell you, it's a big name. But of course, the game itself is going to be a big thing as well. I tell you, it's going to be huge. We shall see how that goes. Robustness, actually, take that already. If we actually have a free slot in the tier 2 section. If you have any suggestions on spells, let me know. Earthquake. Shakes the ground and damage everyone, including you. If someone underground, they will receive double the damage. I like that. But for affected, that's a flying. I like that. That could be actually tier 3 because it's very powerful spell. You get much progress on this beautiful game. Thank you, Big Bear. It's still a lot of stuff I need to do, but of course it's a pleasure to be able to stream that in here. I'm going to be showing actually some more impressive things later on. I tell you, there's some impressive things going. It's great, indeed. It's my main job. I'm going to actually be living, hopefully, with this game if it goes forward. Hopefully, a few of you are going to be interested to check the free demo out when it comes out. I tell you, it's going to be my magnum opus. If this fails, I might not be actually continuing making games. But, you know, I don't think it actually might work, because I've done some calculations. Basically, if I calculate it right, I need 5,000 people taking this game for themselves in order to make this go alright. And as you know, I've gathered some numbers, and I currently might be me too. Hey, I tell you, Big Bear, Surge, I appreciate quite a lot. Big Bear, Surge. We have just Kingdom Hearts music here in the background. We have like this heroic Kingdom Hearts music. I'm going to be, hopefully it's going to be as good as, you know, you're going to be enjoying it, basically. I'm going to be making sure it's going to be very good. But I appreciate very much all that. Thank you. I'm sharing my friends also! Oh, that would be... Thank you very much. Basically, the game is going to be something unique, so your friends hopefully going to be very happy on the thing. It's not like there's so many goddamn games that I'm gonna try to.
I will also try. It all depends on a lot of factors that I can't predict because I am not a fortune.
Wait, thank you for at least trying. I appreciate it. No worries, no need to do promises, but I appreciate Big Prius and Surge's promise. 5 plus 7 banana, the color purple.
Joking.
Okay, Black Magnus, you sometimes come here and I don't really get your jokes, but hello there, how are you doing? Now, so basically we have one spot reserved if we want to give some spells here. I think Earthquake actually was given by PBSA, very good one, I like that. Also the Drill ability, which I'm going to be actually making next. I think that is something we could actually do. So Drill ability continues Nuo's damage to opponent. Oh. And what was actually, you did some kind of a, what did you do? Drill cave can destroy rocks in the battlefield, also won't be allowed to damage enemies, but it rocks get resources from iron, copper and off. Yeah, I like that actually. You can actually use that for drilling. You can use it for drilling. Normal crafting things. Yay! Hi there, Blank. What do we have here? So basically, whoa, basically we are currently making spells here. That's the thing. Spells. And what is that? Spells basically are kind of these sort of systems. You have mages, you have like knights. Mages use spells on their battlefield. Now that's what I'm talking about, indeed. So Drill ability, basically when you're in the battlefield, I don't know what sort of idea Surge and Big Bear you have on your own spells here. Thunderstorm. Thunderstorm spell, unfortunately like we have only 5 elements, and I'm going to be actually later on, hopefully going to be making things that are going to be more electricity focused, perhaps like the metal element, but the current element is earth, and earth has nothing to do with thunder as far as I know. So I'm not going to be adding that here though. Next one is going to be Drill, that was suggested by PBSA, and if you have any others, let me know, of course. Okay, no worries, of course, I appreciate some ideas, but if you have any connected to earth element, you know, of course, like rocks and this sort of stuff, anything, it can be like, make someone, like, let me actually show you an example here. We have like momentum. Yeah, indeed, I think so. If one of the things is we have momentum, basically we can move things on the battlefield with momentum spell. It actually is very, like, it confuses an opponent's strategy very much. Also, we have like solidify, makes you more resistant and so on. Petrification could be something. I think that could be, that has to be a very high level spell, I tell you. A lot of spells, if you've been focused on the Pokemon mind. Petrification actually good work. Thanks, it's fine, everything is good here. Sorry about your mama. I'm very sorry, you know, it's very nasty. I'm gladly things are going better now. Gladly things are going better. Yeah, Big Bear, no, not very good things on the yeah, his father and such. Hopefully all is going now better. Now, so basically Petrify, I think we could actually add the Petrify on the tier 3 area, because that's a very powerful spell. Petrify. Who suggested that? I think it was suggested by Blankness. Blankness. But yeah, basically this is the spell, like the ideas thing. And this is the best time actually to get some ideas in, that's I tell you, because after this point I'm going to be starting doing these like heavily on, like programming these in, and then I'm not going to be changing these at all. So, what does it mean?
What does that mean?
Yeah, like I've blowing raspberry basic, like sort of fashion. It's his own kind of a joke he has been getting to the streams many times. I don't still get it sometimes.
Yes, I suggested
Petrify, I like that. Let's have that. Now, next is going to be a drill. I'm actually make an icon for the drilling. Indeed. Of course, drill, of course, if you know what a drill looks like, let's try to make it as such. Indeed. Let's do it. Indeed so. And turning to stone is one thing that RPGs used often. It's going to be a very, very powerful ability, I tell you, because otherwise, I don't want to make it too like open yet, at least in the beginning sort of fashion, because otherwise everybody would be using it in the beginning, because it, of course, when you petrify someone, then it's kind of over in there. But in basically some status elements work in this. Woo! Indeed, some status elements in this game work like you actually have to recharge them. Like if you know Dark Souls game, you know basically Dark Souls have that status system. It's basically similar to that. You have to add it multiple times in order to it to work. That's the enemies do it at the same similar type. That's the thing. So this is the drill icon over here. We have drill. It's not too impressive though. I can actually change it a little bit. Like it actually looks like a drill. I like tombstone. Yeah. Actually, I haven't actually played Pokemon moves, so yeah. Yeah, PPS has some good ideas on the moves. I very much appreciate some of his ideas, very much. And I hope this actually going to be enjoyed by people, because these are going to be multi-purpose skills. You're actually going to be using these in multiple occasions if you play them well. Let me actually know anyone who is here, like Surge and Big Bear. What sort of RPG class you actually like playing when you play like RPGs, like knights or wizards or that sort of stuff? The wizard class in Final Fallacy is going to be quite a special little fruitcake, because they can actually do a lot of different situational things. Like they are not physically very strong, but like they can basically petrify and do this all sort of abilities when they have the good position. So the rock could be a tombstone instead of the rock. So the rock could be a tombstone. Tombstone, and possibly we have to see. Could be tombstone. Could be possibly in there. We shall see. Tombstone. Here we go. That's the thing. That's the thing, ladies and gentlemen. So that's the drill. Let's add that in. Let's save it on here. These are some of the icons that we have done in the past. You might have actually seen this before. Might have. Who knows? Who knows? Blankness, of course, you have suggestions from Marek and other games as well, I remember. I haven't actually played Pokemon games myself, so I can really know of the things on the Pokemon. For Petrify, try to create something and turn it into stone. Actually, it's basically going to make you like, when your sprite is like this, it's going to like stop your sprite movement, and it's going to make you like turn grey, basically. That's what I'm going to be making it so. So visual, of course, we have to have that. So drill, let me actually put that in like this, and let's put the drill in like that. Look at that. Look at that. Here we go. Drill. Drill, drill, drill. And it's going to be doing very good things we have here. And next, actually, I'll add it on the file here, because we need it. Here we go like this. Good suggestions so far. Thank you very much, of course, on that. Okay, but the spell would be still people to stone, right? Of course. That's what it does, basically. But of course, visually, it has to make like a turn them like a grey, like, and it like automatically like a kills you. Yeah, so many different sprites on there. I tell you, of course. That's what Final Fallacy is for. And I think many of these spells people are not going to see, but I want to surprise people, even long-time people, that, let's say that someone plays like a fighter. They don't have much spells, at least at all, if I remember. So basically, when you have a fighter class, when you meet a wizard later on in the game, wizard enemies, they're like, what are these abilities? That's the thing. Indeed, you did. Very good one. Very good one indeed. I will add that there. I think I did. Let's see. Petrify. Thanks. I'm going to be adding that in the title, in the credits, of course. Blankness. Thank you very much. Very much so.
Okay, sir. Just letting you know.
Just letting you know. What? I don't know what you mean on that, but or by a 3 square inside of each other square in the blank. Or do you mean the which ability? Let me know. Basically, the Petrify has been not done yet, but we have like Heavy is going to be next. Makes everything heavier. Basically, I'm going to be making sure that you can like drop things on the floor that are like very heavy, and of course it's going to be making your agility go. Agility goes down 50%. That's the thing. Ah, there's a scratch. It joined me on the first space battle when I had a small product. What are you talking, man? I don't get what. Yeah. You're very. You get me confused, I tell you. I don't know that quote.
Do you know that quote?
Yeah, I might have seen that before, but I don't know all of the things. Is that where? So basically, let's do heavy. 3 squares all inside of each other has been like a third square in this. Ah, well, all right, could be, possibly. Let's see. Possibly not for the heavy one though. The heavy is going to be actually this sort of symbol, I think. Let me see. Ratchet and Clank. I want to actually replay that series some point, man. Ratchet and Clank. Oh boy, like the old ones especially. If they were clever games, I tell you, Ratchet and Clank is on my playing list. I'm gonna be playing that very much in the future. Oh boy, because man, it was a good game. Good game. Hopefully on this channel at the same time. The music needs no remastering or such.
It's for the Petrify spell.
Ah, thank you very much. Let's do that afterwards. But this is going to be the heavy spell icon. You might see what it is, but now let's see. Let's put that in like here, like this. Yeah, Petrify. Hey, let's do that. Yeah, let's actually make that icon for that. That's a very good idea. You know, squares inside of square. Yeah, let's do that. We are doing our logos here. Here we go. Next one is going to be like again like this. Here we go. So we know what are the borders here, and let's add it in here. We have already quite a many icons, as you can see. I personally like to play as a wizard many times when I play games. I don't know about you. You know, when you have like this magic universe. I don't know. You know, some people, of course, when you think about like first-person shooters and such, they have their different roles, like defenders, supporters, and that sort of people. Wizards are this sort of like a ace in their cards.
Yeah, that's a lot of
Yeah, of course. There's going to be a lot of them, of course. But that just makes the game much more fun. And gladly they take a lot of, not that long to make, that's a thing. Here we go. Indeed, and all are originally made. Indeed so. So heavy icon is ready. Let's put that inside here. Like this. Look at that. By the way, Serge, if you're still here, I haven't actually messaged you yet. I want to... It looks very good. I tell you, it's going to be even better than you ever thought. Because I tell you, that's a bit hypey, sorry about that. But I tell you, I'm very impressed on if I could say also on my own game. I didn't know I could actually do this. Let's actually make it. Like to put so much in it and all independent work. That's the thing. And I want to do games in the future. And I need to put all in. Otherwise, it's... I need to put all in, that's the thing. Oh! Original OGs even here! Original OGs on the house! Search and others. Go check out Original OG. We are on the D-Live currently saying hello. Indeed, very interesting movie, see Onward. That's all about magic and wizards. Haven't actually seen Onward. I just recently saw a Battle Angel Alita, and actually I like that. So let's do the what you actually suggested. Let me know, blankness, is this right or wrong? I have to leave. I'm gonna make myself some dinner. See you later, blankness. Of course. That is has to be that, man. It has to be. Wizards! Always, you're a wizard, Harry. That's the thing. That's the thing. I actually haven't seen Onward on that. Is it a good film? Let me know. But I tell you, man. Of course, I'm going to be, saying my game is the best. But I want to say I have used a lot of time for this. Many games won't use this sort of detail I put on this. I tell you. Unfortunately, that's the case. If we would, all the games would be so good. But unfortunately not. This game, like the individual NPCs and such. Hey man, visit you briefly before bed. It was nice catch your stream. What are you going to do right now? Yes, movie. Very surprising, very. Basically gonna be doing a little bit on still here, and then continuing. Good, I'll make me cry like a little baby. Cry? Is it so good? Well, that's it. I haven't seen a film to make me cry too much lately. I'm not too much of a crying person. I think it's kind of like a Finnish thing. We Finnish never cry, whatever the case. But of course, you know, crying is not a bad thing itself. I tell you, yeah. Oh, you're going to be briefly visiting? No worries. I'm actually not going to be working too much on here. That's the thing. Let's pleasure have you. Maybe middle square and bigger. Could be. Let's do it. Like could be like this. Here we go. Like this. All right. I like that. Petrify. Here we go. Petrify. It is. Oh, onward. Really? I thought it was like this sort of cheap Disney-like film, but it wasn't cheap Disney film. Was it made by Disney? I'm actually I'm actually checking that out if it was really that good. But I don't really like Disney stuff anymore. Like they used to be very good, and now they're just like. Why are you always doing all these Jack Sparrow films and like again and again and again, like a milking?
Not cheap. I say it has a big message in it.
Big message. Well, that's very good. We need big messages. Hopefully, it's good as you say. Of course, might be. I have to check it out. I actually want to recommend one film for you if you're ready for a film recommendation by eluukkanen over here. Oh, that's the thing. We're basically doing. Let me actually show you a list. So basically, we are planning spells. One of them was Petrify. That was by Blankness. The idea of the spell. Basically, these are the spells for Earth elements. If you're a wizard, you can use different sort of spells. And these icons basically, they like describe what the spell basically like. It's kind of this sort of old writing of the wizards. And you know, when you have like a statue, basically that spell. That's the icon. That's like how it looks visually. Crying is not a sign of weakness. It's a strength and humanity. Indeed. If you cannot cry, there's something wrong with you. Indeed, of course. That's the thing. I mean, like, of course, people can still cry. Even people that don't cry too much. And it's not a problem if you don't cry all the time. Like, it has to be balanced. Balance is the good stuff.
Did you draw all of these yourself?
Yay!
And why are you redrawing them?
Redrawing? Not redrawing, actually, we're creating those just a moment ago. We were just redrawing the Petrify skill thing. Here we go. You know, basically, we made a Petrify icon. And let me just open like this. Petrify is in here. Let me just put it like this. So we just made these icons, indeed. These are icons all made by me and one of my friends who also is working on this game with some graphical stuff. Indeed so. So Boulder, and the next one is of course, actually what was it? Next one, Underground Drill Heavy. And Heavy is ready. I think it is. Yes, indeed. All of these spells, and these spells are going to be quite lovely ones, I tell you. And why so? Well, I tell you. They're going to be making the battles and the encounters you encounter and all of the, you know, even travels with the world. It's going to be fun. Well, looking good, my man. Oh, very happy here, man. I'm very happy. Hopefully, people are going to try that out. Of course, I hope that. The thing is, though, it might be my biggest either chance or my biggest failure, because I'm going to be using a lot of time for this. Like people, if I would be paid like a normal, like a let's say somebody would pay me to do this, it would actually cost quite a lot, because basically I'm using a lot of time for this. A lot of time. It's not the easy thing to do this. But still, I want this to be perfect. Hopefully it's going to be a very good one. People are going to enjoy, but because we need more RPGs that challenge. I've seen so many lazy ones recently released, and I think that's because I think I have a chance because of that. I might have a chance to attract some people to some good RPG experience. Getting in.
Weren't you sponsored from the community in your town?
Not community. I was not sponsored. Basically, you know, kind of a different word. I was like supported the development by the Finnish government, indeed.
I believe
when you thank you.
PBSA. Do you think you already have enough spells?
I think for the demo, yes. But the whole game is going to be a large one. There's going to be 50 spells per each magic tier, so there's going to be a lot of spells. I tell you, and it's intentional. I want a lot of spells, because otherwise, like, I want the magic users have this sort of discovery there. And also, these are going to be used by enemies as well, so it's not wasting at all. Not wasting at all. Do you already have enough air spells? I can see why you say that, but I tell you, there's going to be a lot of spells. Because this game is not going to be just like, hey, yeah, done that, went that, done that. It's going to, there's a lot of stuff here. Lot of stuff. Of your electric spells! The electricity is actually, you know, if I understand the Wuxin principle, which this whole thing is based upon, basically it's earth and tree element is combined together. Indeed. Also 250 spells. Also there's going to be around, I think, 10 extra spells that are going to be like very powerful ones. So 260 probably going to be the number for the spells themselves. Indeed, so a lot of spells, a lot of development of that, but I don't mind. I want to make this as good as possible. Now we have heavy here. Next one here. We have to listen to some kind of a Kingdom Hearts music. I don't want to listen to this sort of like a blah 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 blah. I'm actually listen a little bit of this Final Fantasy music on here. Let's go to Warpath. Here we go, like this. Here we go. Listen to some music on there. Now, so Calcify is the next one. Turns opponents twice as slower. We already have an icon for that. Very good. Heavy Calcify. Kalkkeutunut. That's how we say in Finnish, indeed.
Which is the Kaku spell and which is the most powerful you get?
Kagnoob!
Or do you have them all at the same time?
All at the same time? What do you mean? I suppose the most powerful spell, I haven't yet got a name. My friend who is writing for this, he actually had this sort of like, in Final Fantasy, where this game obviously has had inspiration from. Of course, it's a very different game, I have to always say. But this had inspiration from. In Final Fantasy 1, there's this spell called Ultima, which is the most powerful spell, and you have to even do a quest to find it. And I haven't yet thought what the ultimate spell will be. In this game franchise called Heroes Might and Magic, there's this spell like Apocalypse, basically fireballs like come from the sky and everything like gets destroyed. I'm possibly going to be doing that sort of spell, so it's going to be actually something that you might not be able to even use. It might be even destroying yourself. It's that powerful spell. That's the thing. The elements are earth, wood, metal, air. No. It's earth, wood, metal, fire, and water. Kind of supernova, but have to kind of like have this medieval-ish name for it, like some kind of apocalypse, some kind of like that. If you have any suggestions of the spell, original OG, when it comes to Earth spells, let me know, because we're currently working on those. And of course, if you have any ideas, that would be lovely to hear those. Of course, we're gonna be doing the super, ultimate, super. There's going to be electricity, man. There's going to be electricity, but I'm going to be talking about those later on. But there's going to be electricity. Unfortunately, Chinese, they didn't have electricity as one of the elements, as you know, usually in RPGs there is. So unfortunately, you know, I have to blame Chinese in this. But you know, it's still, there's a lot of things you can do with metal. Basically, as I understood, Wuxing, when you combine earth and wood for some reason, wood and earth, there's like a lightning. I don't know what the like. There should be some kind of like a reason behind that, but I don't get it. I don't get it, at least. So twice as slow, I tell you. We had actually very good from PBSA, but you know, mud could be an interesting one actually. Actually, I'm gonna be doing a mud one. That's actually a very good one. Thank you. Thank you. Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. I have to still think of this, but of course, usually RPGs, the electricity is the one of the spell types in there. But of course, Wuxing is a very different. Chinese think very differently on their games and on their things, indeed. Actually, mud idea is very good. I was actually thinking it could actually make so that people on the ground could be all slower. I've actually seen that, yeah. Very good cartoon, I tell you. Last Airbender. Yes, indeed, indeed. Last Genderbender. But now, basically, idea here is that we have like this tombstone spell. I'm actually going to be adding it later on. I'm actually adding like later on, yeah, tombstone. Tombstone. Yeah, it kind of has that same feeling, but of course, they simplified it so there's 4 elements. In Chinese, there's 5 elements, always 5. And Earth is the element that is between all the elements. Between every season. Chinese believe that, you know, normally there's like 4 seasons: winter, summer, spring, and autumn. Chinese believe that there's always this sort of in-between season, and Earth basically describes it. I was actually thinking of this sort of thing. Basically, it makes sort of like the ground muddy. So it makes so that all people go a little bit slower. So it affects everybody's slow, and also everybody gets dirty. Basically, I suppose. I don't know. I have dirty state. That's status element. But I don't know what it does yet. I suppose it actually destroys some of your like makes your equipment go in worse condition. I suppose that could be it. Who knows? And there might be a chance to slip on when you are muddy and that sort of fashion. I think mud could be actually a very cool one. Let's add mud there. Yeah. Some combination from water and earth. Mud. That could be actually kind of like a thing for it. It's a combination of water. Actually see. So mud covers the whole field with mud that slows people. Slows all people on the ground and gives them muddy status. Pillar of stone. Actually, pillar could be one that we could actually make on the later stages. I actually like that visuals, like phew. Could be so. That actually could be done. That actually could be done, but it has to be a late level spell. So I tell you, it has to be like you know, chasm is one of the things actually made. It's later on. Let me add in the pillar. I think in this position. Here we go. Let's add original OG. Of course, I have to credit you. Put the special thanks and such, and the mud also original OG. That's it. Now, that's right. Your name is in the game now. Hopefully you're alright with that. But now, the covers the mud for all people ground and gives the muddy status element. Yeah, I know it's wrong written, but you know, who cares? Who cares? Now let's actually make an icon for mud. So of course, what does mud look like when you have to put only in this sort of sense? Natural elements: fire, water, earth, energy, chaos, normal, and when they're fused elements it will be many to write, forgetting one. What if the ground swallows beneath you and you sharp, tall stone spikes appear and thrust upwards to the break? I'm in the game, whoopie freaking do! We're all living the game of life, I tell you. It's a very hardcore game. You have only one life. It's very, very hardcore, I tell you. And we always get a random start. Some people believe it's not that random. I personally, but it's kind of like, life is very interesting game, I suppose. Indeed. And some people have games over earlier than others, but it's a very, very hardcore game, I tell you. Very hardcore. Now, the mud, I think, would be like done like this sort of fashion. So it's like this, sort of like the mud is like a splashes all around like this. This like a mud icon. Here we go. Let's have that. Look at that.
Original OG.
There's a seagull outside. Stone buff, high ground. You have the high ground, you get to attack, sharpened, easier to get target and hit by a target. I actually like the idea of the, I'm not actually thinking of the name yet again, but I like the idea of that spell. I actually put that in. Stone buff, here we go. But yeah, this is the one that is for mud, indeed. There's actually one in here as well. And they're kind of cryptic, sort of like it's kind of like a hieroglyphs, but that's how they have to be, because each one has a different way. And in order to craft these spells, you need to like know which position these are. That's the thing. That's the thing. And you can actually, if you look at the icons, you can kind of understand where to put these sort of crafting things on a position, because this is basically the positions you have to put these like that. If I would put like this, and this, I would get a mud spell. Indeed, that's the thing. Stone buff, high ground. You lift the ground and get attacks sharpened up. Easy to target and hit enemies. I might not actually do that on the earth ability. I might actually do that on like sharpened. Could be like a metal ability. Actually, let me write that. Sharpened metal. I think that actually could be more metal side of things, at least on my side. I think that could be. I think that could be. Name suggestion, high ground.
Name suggestion, high ground.
Unfortunately, the name suggestions are nice, but the thing is, we have only like for this each spell, because there's a limited space, it has to be only one word. That's the thing.
Not for stone.
Damn, at least I am trying.
No, actually, I like that suggestion, but sharpened up could be possibly on metal much more, I think. Yeah. But hey, I thank you very much. You had very good suggestions. Natural elements, fire, earth, energy. Basically, we have like this. We have like the 5 elements plus darkness and light sort of fashion. Those are. I don't want to have too much of elements, otherwise it would be like even too big for me. Like, man, that's too much. Indeed. No, but thank you for the suggestions, original OG, PBSA and all. I appreciate it. Hill! I actually like the idea of hill. I like the name ideas you have, but what could a hill spell do? No one knows. I like an upper ground sort of fashion. You're welcome, nice to assist, and I appreciate it. Great to have people participating and being part of the creation. Indeed, it's an honor. Next one, of course, is we put it in here like the mud. Here we go. This is mud. Harden. I've actually put that. Drill, heavy, calcify, land. I think I'm actually going to be stopping the progress for now. I've been doing it for quite a long while. I appreciate for original OG and others being here, giving suggestions for the spells. We have had quite many of them done, and you don't know how easy this is. When you have this sort of list, it's easy to me to do this. I can just like if I would just start from zero, like it's good to have plans first when you do something. Like when you go to shop, it's good to plan what you purchase from there before just going there. And, hey, I see this item, let's take that. And it's that sort of fashion. Keep up with the good work, and if you need help with the stuff, I'm in your man. Thank you. Let's do it. I've got the imagination and creativity. I like the suggestions you made. Also, PBSA gives good suggestions as well, and you as well. I very much appreciate it. Very much good ones. Imagine when you're in this game, and now there's a mud ability and also sharpened later on. We shall see how that would work. Hey, thanks for being here. Wherever you are, I wish you a good day. See you later. All the best. And I'm gonna be sleeping now.